there was nothing happened. Then she'd say to herself, nothing has been happening. Nothing is going to happen. I don't need to turn that tape recorder on, that video tape recorder. I'll just turn it off. Followed by an abduction event. Or, I'm having such trouble sleeping here. My neighbors upstairs, they're fighting. I can hear them. I'll just go into the living room and sleep on the couch, which cannot be seen by the camera. Followed by an abduction event. Or, and I've had I've had at least 10 different abductees sleeping every night for months under the watchful eye of a video camera. Or you get up, see the person getting up in the middle of the night, 3 o'clock in the morning, walking over to the video camera, turning it off.
Turning it off, yeah.
And it's on the tape. And so we learned that the abductee cannot know
right
watching them. Now you come into ethical problems. Can you surreptitiously put a camera in their bedroom that they don't know about?
Not so smart either, huh?
No, well, it's ethical problems.
Yep,
and some abductees will actually sign off on that. Will actually say, yes, you may do that. And I don't have to know about it. We haven't done that so far.
But that would mean that they potentially know about it since you asked them, right?
Yeah, but it may not. But they may not know it's there. You wait for 6 months, and they've forgotten all about the fact that.
Sure.
See, I have a clause in a release that everybody signs, which says that I can collect anything I want, overtly or covertly. And I've never done that so far. We've come close, but the deal fell through. It's a long story, and it has to be hidden in a way.
Yes. And multiple cameras as well, and probably running all the time. It has to be some kind of digital technology that they record all these feeds into a computer or something like that, right?
That is correct. This has been done through a consortium, through the Center for UFO Studies and the Mutual UFO Network. They put together a box that looked like a jewelry box that, in fact, had all sorts of sensing equipment in it. It had everything but what we want, which was a camera. And since all communication is telepathic, you're not going to hear anybody talking.
Yeah.
And so it wanted to sense whether there was any change in the pressure, any change in the temperature, any change in this, and it would call up a certain number by itself and do a data dump at a place in San Antonio, Texas. And each person would then have a log, and they would have to write in their log, a diary, whether or not they thought something had happened on a certain night. And then there would be studies to see whether there was any changes in the normal background of this room when they said an abduction happened, or might have happened. And the answer is, this happened years ago. At least 4 or 5 people agreed to do this, and nobody studied the data yet. It's not happened.
Really?
The data's still in San Antonio. They say they're still working on it, but who knows what's happened.
Well, okay,
it's out of my hand.
But that's interesting. At least there is an attempt to find out more about it, because I guess again at this point, and considering the picture, so to speak, that you've painted for us, we just need more data on it, right? We just need more confirmation, So
well, you need more, right? Oh, absolutely. See, the thing is that when intelligent people have resources and can put their minds together to investigate this in terms of the physicality of it, whether people are living here or not, whether people are being abducted or not, all sorts of new and novel ways can be invented, I'm sure. Ways that I can't even think of. I mean, I'm a historian, I'm not an engineer, And we don't have those people coming forward. We just, the scientific and academic community won't do it. So we're trapped in the best we can do. And the best I can do is hypnosis. That's my strong point. We're hemmed in on all sides, I have to admit.
And yet, as you talked about here, the consequence of this is obviously dire. If we are concerned about the ways what the human being is today, so to speak, that this is something that is changing and going out the door, so to speak. if this is the
There
case.
is no possibility that what I uncovered in my corner of in where I live, which is near the state of New Jersey, near the state of Delaware, near the state of Maryland, near in upstate Pennsylvania, northern Pennsylvania. There's no possibility that in my little corner of the United States that I have discovered where the program to integrate hybrids is beginning. That did not happen. If I have found it, it's happening everywhere now.
Yeah.
It's not possible that it's just happening here. And one time, a friend of mine told me about a letter that she'd gotten from a woman in Germany. And this woman said, you know, it's a thing. She says, I think that I'm going out with these. She has very little about the subject. She's never undergone hypnosis, as far as I know. I've never met this woman. I don't know who this woman is. She says, I think I'm going to stores with them now. They're taking me to stores. Some woman in Germany. This is the craziest damn thing to say, unless you have background and you think to yourself, oh my God, you know, it is happening everywhere. Huh. I've talked with some people in England recently, and they talked about, one woman talked about how she saw, now this was done on board an object, and it was done sort of like with an image on the screen, a woman walking down a sidewalk and waiting for a bus, and then getting on a bus and sitting down. And then she was asked by these hybrids and aliens there, what did this woman do wrong? Was everything okay? Did she do it all? Did she do it the correct way? And the answer was, yeah, everything was correct. Yeah, everything was fine. Oh, that's what they want to know. Okay, that was fine. Yeah, that's typical stuff that I get all the time now, you know, like, did she do things right? If she were to do this, well, she's actually walking down a real sidewalk waiting for a bus, and she gets on the bus, she'll be able to do it correctly and all that. And and then these are people in England that's happening, you know.
Yeah.
And so I know it's happening around the world. It's not happening just right here where I am.
Yeah.
So, and this has always been a global phenomenon, just like the UFO phenomenon. It's always been global. And the whole point here, of course, is that the UFO phenomenon is the abduction phenomenon.
Yes.
They are not separate. It's the same deal. It's all part of the same program.
Well, David, what we can say here to begin to round things up for this time is that we'd love to have you back here at some point, and because again, what you've been painting for us here is a picture that is developing, so to speak. There's things coming to light all the time, and as you continue your work, that you know things are obviously going to develop there as well, you know. And but in terms of how people can find out more information about the things that we have talked about here today, is this material as well that they find in The Threat, for instance, or any of your other books that people want to study more? You know?
Some of it is in The Threat. Now, if anybody doesn't know anything about abductions at all, you start with Secret Life, which takes a person on a typical abduction event from beginning to end, and sort of the consequences of it for the person as well. And then the second book takes you much more in depth into it, and things go down a lot easier for the person because you realize, oh, I see how this fits in with the first one. They're you know, it's logical.
Right.
But since, and that book came out in '98, but since 1998, I've written almost nothing about this. Just a little bit of material. There's very little bit. I've been saving it for this book that I keep threatening to write, but haven't written yet. And but I've talked a lot about it. I've talked more about it on your show than most places. I'll tell you that. Mm-hmm. You've tapped me pretty dry. You've wrung me dry.
Well, that's what we like to do. We like to find out what's going on. I must tell you, this is obviously a very, very scary scenario that you're painting for us, and obviously a very interesting one. And let me tell you, sometimes I'm having these questions as I'm out in society in generally. Are these people clones, or do they even think for themselves? You know, whether or not they're hybrids or not, that I don't know. But there's something going on there. You know what I mean? It's crazy.
Well,
it's crazy.
That's true. And here in the United States, there's a hell of a lot of people who don't think for themselves. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
But not in the sense that we mean it, though. But the fact is that you know, these are questions that I think everybody will be wrestling with eventually.
Yeah.
If people listen to the I think I've talked with you for about 3 hours now. Almost.
I think it's about 3 hours. Yes. That
they're going to learn quite a lot. Now, it's, you know, the way I look at it is, okay,